Mr. Care Compass for the Office of the Attorney General. We're here on the state's motion to modify and confirm support arrearages, which was filed 5/26/2023. Since then, we've been here quite a few times, as you said, but there were temporary orders done February 12th, 2024, and it was reset a few times. And then we've did further temporary orders on 10/21/2024. We also filed an amended petition requesting unreimbursed medical expenses on behalf of Ms. Garcia. We were not able to get Dad served on that amended petition. So at this point, we're requesting to non-suit the amended petition, but just when we take judgments, make it clear that it does not include any claims for unreimbursed medical expenses, and so that we can refile that later on. But we are wanting, since we've been here so often, to get a final order today.
Okay, that sounds proper, and I would approve that. Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just go into testimony, and I'll call Emily Hasso as my first witness.
Okay.
Ms. Hasso, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Emily Hasso.
Where are you employed?
The Office of the Attorney General.
And what is your title?
Child Support Officer 5, ma'am.
And how long have you been a child support officer?
5 years, ma'am.
Is it customary in your work to come across information regarding the wages of non-custodial parents?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And have you come across such information in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay. What time frame does the information you have encompass?
I have at least 1 full quarter and then 2 partial quarters of wages, ma'am.
Okay. And were those, so the 2 partial quarters, were those different employers?
Yes, ma'am, they were.
Okay. The most recent employer, when did he start working there? Or at least what quarter did he start working there?
Based on the reported information, ma'am, it appears as though the non-custodial parent began working there in the 3rd quarter of 2024.
Okay. Is that one of the incomplete quarters that you stated you were looking at?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what was the first full quarter that you had at that job?
Yes, ma'am. So the first full quarter would be for the 4th quarter of 2024.
And for that quarter, what do you get to be the gross average monthly resources for Mr. Akao?
Yes, ma'am. The gross monthly average resources based on the 4th quarter of 2024 would be $7,217 per month, ma'am.
I will pass the witness, Judge.
Okay. Well, first of all, Ms. Garcia, you have the right of cross-examination of any witnesses since you're here acting as your own representative. Do you have any questions for Ms. Hasso on the issue of Mr. Akao's income?
No, I'm just glad that somebody found that he was actually making more than what he was stating he was.
Okay, so you said, let me ask you just to double check. You did say it was 4th quarter. That's the full quarter. That's the latest reported quarter since, or maybe not.
That is the latest reported quarter, Judge. Yes.
Latest. So we're in mid-April. You haven't gotten the 1st quarter of 2025?
No, Judge, we have not.
Yeah. Okay. And can you tell what kind of employment it is from just looking at your records?
Yes, I can. It appears as though it is beverage sales, Judge.
Okay. And you said you had 2 partial quarters. I heard about the 3rd one. Was the other one much further back or some more recently, or?
It was the 1st quarter of 2024, Judge.
Okay, so for reported wages, it skipped around, but the most recent one is a full quarter. And I guess you can tell because of the amount, or how can you tell it's a full quarter?
Certainly because of the amount, but additionally, it's the same employer for the 3rd quarter of 2024 as the 4th quarter of 2024.
So that would lead you to believe he's now full-time there, and
that is correct, Judge.
Okay, that helps me. Thank you. Ms. Campos, do you have any other questions for Ms. Hasso before I release her?
No other questions for Ms. Hasso.
Or Ms. Garcia?
No.
Then thank you, Ms. Hasso. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And at this point, Judge, I am going to ask to admit State's Exhibit 1, which is the pay record in this case. I've already showed it to Ms. Garcia, but we are asking to take judgments as of the end of last month. And as of the end of last month, Mr. Akao owed $8,094.58 for the child support arrears, $500.71 for medical support arrears, and then $76.29 for dental support arrears.
And I think you sent me the pay record. I had it up and then it went away, so I'm trying to pull it back up again on my email for the court. Let me look at it real quick to double check. You don't need to screen share it. You just want me to, since I have it already.
Correct, Judge.
Zoom. Yes, it is for the right parties and the right cause number. And let me look at it real quick. I'm scrolling down to the end. It's 7 pages long, and you did print it up today's date. And at the bottom, you went as of what date?
As of the end of last month, Judge, so 3/31/2025.
March
It was
31st.
the judgments we're going to be asking for $8,094.58 for child support arrears, $500.71 for medical support arrears, and then $76.29 for the dental support arrears.
Okay, I'm following all the way across, and I concur, and I will take judicial notice that the amounts requested are supported by the pay record.
I'm going to call Miss Garcia Akao as my next witness. Miss Garcia, can you please state your name for the record?
Inagarcia, Arco.
Are you currently carrying the health insurance for the 2 children in this case?
Yes.
Okay. In the prior temps, the cost that was stated was $792.08 for medical insurance and then $38.36 for dental insurance. Is that still what you're paying for those 2 insurances?
It is, let's see here, we're going into April. Can I look and see if our renewal is posted yet to see what the new premiums would be going up to?
Are you asking for a recess to do that?
No, if the renewal is already in place, I'll have access to it right now,
How do
which
you
would give me brand new numbers.
do you recall what the start date would be for the new insurance? Or do you
I
know?
want to say it's either July or August 1st, and we get those anywhere 60 to 90 days ahead of time.
So it's not in effect right now, but it's for the future?
No.
Ms. Campos, you take a position on that?
Judge, I think I would prefer to go with the numbers that we have now, since those are the ones currently in effect, and since that's the information that we have going into it. But that's the position I take.
Yeah, I have the same opinion, Ms. Garcia. I take a snapshot in time when you're here, I don't do future things. I don't try not to
Okay.
things.
So
but,
whenever we revisit the past medical expenses again, then would it be at that time that I would be able to present the new numbers for the renewal?
I would tell you have the right to ask the AG to look at it and see if they agree that it meets the requirements for modifying, because there are some requirements on how much, if it's minimal, they might not do it. If it's significant and meets the requirements of the law, they could do it. So I would tell you
Okay.
that they are gonna work on the other part of it, I assume, and if you want a mod, you need to jump in as quick as you can. Are you
Okay.
not refiling right away, Ms. Campos, or are you the uninsured expenses part?
Judge, give that to someone else in my office, and then they
Okay.
can determine. 'Cause I know it takes a little bit to get those kinds
Yeah.
of things filed.
Yeah, usually it doesn't happen overnight. There's too many cases and
Right.
people. So you could by July have new numbers, and if they're in effect, you could ask for mod. But again, I don't work for them, so I can't guarantee you anything. So, but yeah, you can try.
Okay.
So you'll go forward with the witness?
Yes, Judge. And actually, is there anything else that you'd like to tell Judge? Are you still okay? So let me just ask, the 9% of 7,217, which Ms. Hasso testified is his gross current monthly wages, is $650 a month. Are you okay if he reimburses you for $650 a month for the medical?
That doesn't include what needs to be reviewed from 2021 to.
For current medical support, he would be ordered, or we would request that he be ordered to reimburse you the max that the law allows him to be ordered to pay, which is
Yeah.
$650 a month. Are you
Okay,
okay
that's
with
fine.
continuing?
That's fine.
Okay.
Would
is
that
there
he has no other children, Ms. Campos? Because I think Again,
These are the only kids that he has.
okay.
In the prior order, Judge, the findings did not include any other children.
Yeah, because it might be a different picture if you had other kids and other responsibilities, so, okay.
Is there anything, Ms. Garcia, is there anything else you think Judge should know about when making these decisions?
No, I'm just ready for this to be done and over with.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Well, be careful what you ask for, because, well, it might not be over, just so you're aware. I'm not yet, but if he shows up late and I've already ruled, then I'm not gonna see him. He'd have the right of appeal, so it may not be over if he chooses to appeal this because he didn't make it on time or for whatever reason he might have. Whether it gets appealed or not, I have no idea, but it could be reopened in one of several ways. So just be forewarned, but the state will tell you if they know about it, they'll tell you. Okay, so I got information on the judgments, and you're gonna do some math for me, Ms. Campos, in your closing?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay,
I'm ready to do that whenever you're ready for me.
ready?
Okay, Judge. So we're requesting that his income be considered based off of Ms. Haas's testimony at $7,217 a month. We're requesting that since Ms. Ako's insurance exceeds his 9%, we're asking that he be ordered to pay up to the 9%, which would be $650 a month. We're also requesting that, so dental was found to be $38.36 in the prior order, so that does fall under his 1.5% for dental. So we request that dental support be at $38 a month. We're requesting that current child support be set at $1,272 a month. This is the 25% of the 7,002 or his net resources. And then the step down will be $1,017 a month.
Give me
Mhm.
give me the adjusted net with the credits for taxes, insurance, and the one you applied the 25% to. What's the?
Yes, Judge, $5,088 even.
Okay, thank you. So it's from 1272 to 1017, and the start date you're requesting?
Is May 1st, 2025.
Okay.
And then on the judgments, we're requesting the judgments as stated as of the end of last month. We're requesting a payment of $91 a month on the child support arrears with a step up to $346 a month based off of when the oldest child ages out. We're requesting a payment of $55 a month on the medical support arrears, and then requesting a payment of $25 a month on the dental support arrears. And we are requesting court costs at this time, Judge. And then we're just requesting that it be final order and the state rests.
Okay, Ms. Garcia, did you hear anything that you did not agree with?
No, it's,
You agree with?
I'm fine with everything.
Tell me how old your kids are again. I don't remember from last time.
Aviana just turned 16, and then Kanani is 18, but will graduate May 27th.
So it'll step down pretty quick for June, I guess. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you still have a couple of years with some of this, and it's going down to the 1017 from the 1272. You don't have any clue why Mr. Akko's not here today?
I will tell you this much, he has not spoken to the girls since Thanksgiving. He called Aviana on her birthday, which was actually not even her birthday date, to tell her happy birthday and what is your cash app, and I will send you some money for your birthday, which was never seen.
Okay, but as far as today's court date, you don't know why he would not be here?
No clue.
Okay. Anything else you want to say for the record, Ms. Garcia?
No.
Okay, then having heard the evidence, I will.
Oh, and Judge, I'm so sorry to interrupt. The one thing that I forgot to address was the non-disclosure of Ms. Garcia's contact information. Apologies on that. So if I could just ask her just a couple more questions on
Now
that.
I'll let you reopen, yes.
Okay. Ms. Garcia, are there any safety concerns with Mr. Akao having your contact information, including your address, telephone number, and email address?
He does have all of that information. I will make the statement that Kanani has mentioned to me where she is worried that with all of these changes and whatnot, she's afraid of him just showing up to the house and doing physical harm to me. I don't think I would see him doing that, but that is a concern that she does have. We have 2 dogs in the house, so I'm not, the girls haven't seen him since he moved, and that's been years. So I don't know, to be honest with you, but with him getting this increase and whatnot, who knows how he could react. I don't know.
Have there been any family violence issues between the two of you in the past?
That was part of the reasoning, the mental, the verbal, and physical abuse. The reason for the divorce, yes.
Okay. And can you remind the court of when you were divorced?
Oh my God, that was 2021, I believe May of 2021. It was right before Alana went into cancer. So that was July. So yeah, 2021.
Okay. And you said that there was some physical abuse, and I understand that this is a very sensitive topic. Do you mind telling the court just a little bit about what you meant by that?
Well, before you do that, or have you do that,
Yeah.
did the divorce contain a non-disclosure finding, Ms. Garcia?
No. No, because the house that I bought, he lived in for a couple of months, so he knows where I live.
You're
Phone number wise,
Are you still
you
in
know,
the
I'll-
same house?
yes.
Okay, and then at any point in the temporary orders, even because they've been lasting, we never
I'm sorry,
addressed
what was that?
during the temporary orders that have lasted for a while and with further temporary orders, or this case has lingered for some reason. Did we ever talk about it or enter one at any temporary orders?
No, it was never brought up because it was mainly the support of the kids that we were dealing with. It was never brought up about
Has there-
the reasoning for the divorce.
But has he done anything during I guess, is it 2 years that this case has been going on? Anything that was a threat or a harm or that you would have reported?
Between the yelling and screaming on the phone and the verbal, abuse, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we haven't seen him in years.
I'd like to protect everybody, but it's not a matter of convenience or Ms.
Right.
Do you have any other argument on that issue? Ms. Campos? On the non-disclosure, is there something I'm not seeing or anything else you want to bring up that I should consider?
No, Judge, I just wanted to ask Ms. Garcia if she felt comfortable sharing her address with Mr. Akao, but ultimately it's up to you. We reserved that issue for this setting. We did order communication via AppClose in the first temporary order, though.
Which I have used. I've sent a couple of things, to that receipt wise and stuff along that line. I'm just at the point right now where if I ask him for money to pay for his 50%, I know I'm not going to get it. This is already going to have to go into another court proceeding, so it's,
Yeah.
Aviana now wears contacts, which that cost of, among supplies and whatnot. So there's stuff that accumulate, but I don't ask him for anything because I'm not going to get it.
Okay, well, we're talking about that non-disclosure issue, and I know you'd be comfortable with it, but that's not the standard that I have to apply. And I would tell you whether I do it or not, and I don't think I have the grounds to do it from what I've heard, is that this isn't the only thing that can protect you either.
Yeah.
You're still in the house, he still knows where you are, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever. So there's authorities, there's places you can call, things you can do, all sorts of stuff you can, hopefully resources close by that you can take advantage of. And you have the knowledge that he's thousands of miles away, or I don't know how far Hawaii.
Right.
But I don't feel comfortable granting it because I don't think I've heard evidence to overcome the burden. So anything else on that issue, Ms. Campos?
No, Judge, just ask the court to make an appropriate determination and we rest.
Or anything else, Ms. Garcia?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, then let me go back to where I was going to start, which is It's now 12:55, so he's had 55 minutes to show up. I have no idea what happened. I would have bet money if I was a betting woman that he would be here because he's been here every other time. And he wanted to have his day in court and not, and I remember it was going to be an issue of underemployment for his lifestyle change to Hawaii. However,
Well, I'm sure you had ordered that his taxes be filed and then show 2 years, and I'm almost positive none of that happened.
Well, he went to work and has an income through a reported source, so that's the blessing in all this thing. So what I'll do is I will grant the default at this late hour against Mr. Akao, render the order, and grant the request except for the non-disclosure. So without repeating it, I'll grant all the judgments with the payout amounts and the modification with the start dates and the rollovers and the step downs. I think that was pretty clear, but no non-disclosure. Court costs, I'll grant that. He's a working man now. He needs to pay him. We usually give him a year so he can spread it out. So that would be what, April 17th of 2026. Court costs against Mr. Akao. And you'll make all the findings and which are required anyway, but the ones we talked about on the record for his income adjusted and gross.
Yes, Judge.
And is there anything else, Ms. Campos?
That's it, Judge.
Anything else you can think of we've left out, Ms. Garcia, or anything you want for the record?
No, that's it for right now.
Okay, I guess the state is now noticed that the oldest one's gonna graduate in May, so I guess y'all normally stop support or do the step down with or without her request, Ms. Campos, just so she's aware.
Correct, Judge. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the step down amount is, as I said, which is going to be that $1,017. And I'll include all of that in the order, including the step up amounts for the payments on the arrears.
Yeah, usually the way it works, they do it automatically because that's what the law is, unless you go in and prove otherwise. If the child, for some reason, some crazy reason, she didn't graduate, which is too late to not graduate, I assume. So yeah,
I
if
know
it's like,
she's gone through a lot of challenges and she's made it, so
so it's going to be a good day.
now it is.
Well, then the default will be granted. I render the order. It's my order. However, the state's going to draft it, send it to you by email. It may come out as early as this afternoon or before 5, Ms. Campos, you think?
I'm hoping by today, Judge.
Yeah, so start looking this late afternoon or by 5 if you have better things to do. And then once you see it, it goes quick. I give them a week to get it turned in to me. However, they send you the courtesy copy. They ask you to review it and sign it electronically. If you don't respond and you don't sign it, that's when a week from today, they'll turn it in without your signature. You sign it, it comes in quicker. But do check if you see any errors or misspellings or anything of concern, you call the state to resolve them or just sign it. And if you okay, if you don't, I'll sign it without you. Then if there's nothing further, that'll conclude this hearing. I'll ask Ms. Garcia to end the meeting by clicking the end meeting buttons and leave. And then I'll stop my recordings. Thank you.
Where is that? Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you and your kids.